In this video, we're going to discuss about monotone sequences. So let's have definition. Let a sub n be a sequence of real numbers. Number 1, the sequence a sub n is increasing if a sub n is less than or equal to a sub n plus 1 for all natural number n. Number 2, the sequence a sub n is decreasing if a sub n greater than or equal to a sub n plus 1 for all natural number n. And for number 3, the sequence a sub n is monotone if it is either increasing or decreasing. So ano yung sinasabi nitong definition number 1? Sasabi niya, yung values daw ng ating a sub n ay nag-i-increase kapag yung ating subscript or yung natural number n ay nag-i-increase. Okay? Or as n becomes larger, yung values ng a sub n increases. Okay? So dito naman, as n becomes larger, yung ating value ng a sub n ay nagdi-decrease. Okay? Nababawasan, kaya siya tinawag na decreasing sequence. So let's have our example para maintindihan natin maigi. Okay, so for example, dun muna tayo sa increasing sequences. So let's say meron tayong sequence na n. So, n equals 1 to infinity. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, so increasing sequence yan. Kasi habang lumalaki yung ating subscript na n, lumalaki din yung ating values ng a sub n. Yun dito. Okay, so next. Another example. Meron tayong 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and so on. Okay? So, let's say meron tayong sequence na ganyan. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, then kasunod niya 4, 4, 4, 4, and so on. So, increasing sequences din yan. Although meron tayong same dito, pero yung values naman ng ating a sub n ay nag-i-increase. Okay, wala tayong makikita diyan na biglang nag-decrease yung values ng a sub n as n becomes larger. Okay? So another example, we have a squared, a cube, dot 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 up to a raised to n, dot dot dot, and so on for a greater than 1, syempre. Okay? Kasi kapag fraction yan or less than 1 yan, okay, then ang mangyayari kasi dito, let's say nasa fraction, hindi siya mag-i-increase, magde-decrease tong ano. Okay, halimbawa ang a natin ay 1/2, so we have 1/2 tapos yung 1/2 quantity squared magiging 1/4, so hindi siya nag-increase. Okay, so ganun lang siya kasimple. So doon naman tayo sa decreasing sequences. So for decreasing sequences, for example dyan, let's have 1 over n element of n. So pareho lang yan. That is equal to 1 over 1 or 1. Tapos if n is equal to, magiging 1/2. Tapos n equals 3, magiging 1/3. Then 1/4 and so on. 1 over n, so on. Okay? So as you can see, nagde-decrease yung ating value ng a sub n, yung 1 over n, as n becomes larger. Okay? Next, let's have b squared, b cubed, up to b raised to n, and so on for 0 less than b less than 1. Okay? So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, na magiging decreasing siya kapag sinama mo yung nasa between 0 and 1. Kaya dito, a must be greater than 1. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple yung ating increasing sequences tsaka decreasing sequences. So, again kung babalikan natin to basta wala tayong makita na ganito yung, wala tayong makita dito na yung term, yung susunod na term or following term, mas mababa kaysa dun sa preceding term. Para masabi natin na increasing sequence siya. So kahit may nagpareho, basta wala tayong makikitang susunod na term na mas mababa. Okay? So dun nga tayo sa not monotone. So example, for not monotone, let's have negative 1 raised to n element of natural numbers. This is, if n equals 1, that is negative 1. If n equals 2, that is positive 1. Ibig sabihin kapag odd number, negative, pag even number, positive. so on. Okay? So, hindi siya monotone. So, nag-increase, sabay decrease, sabay increase, sabay decrease, sabay increase, and so on. Okay? So, another example, let's say negative 1 quantity raised to n element of natural numbers. So, this is negative 1, positive 2, negative 3, positive 4, and so on. Okay? Although yung magnitude niya, which is yung 1, 2, 3, 4, ay parang increasing, pero dahil dito sa sign, so hindi siya naging monotone. Now let's have monotone convergence theorem. A monotone sequence of real numbers is convergent if and only if it is bounded. Further, if the sequence a sub n is a bounded increasing sequence, then limit of a sub n is equal to the supremum of the set containing a sub n such that n element of set of natural numbers. And if a sub n is a bounded decreasing sequence, then limit of a sub n is equal to the infimum of the set containing a sub n such that n element of set of natural numbers. So, ano ba yung gamit ng monotone convergence sequence? So, magagamit natin to para sa mga monotone sequences, of course. Tapos, kapag napatunayan natin na itong monotone sequence ay convergent, automatic, pwede nating sabihin o sure tayo na yun ay bounded. And at the same time, kapag napatunayan natin na ang monotone sequence ay bounded, then pwede din nating i-conclude na yung monotone sequence na yun ay convergent. Okay? Next naman, para sa mga bounded monotone sequences, madali nating mahahanap yung limit or mapoprove yung limit nila. Which is, para sa bounded increasing sequence, ang limit daw nila ay yung supremum ng a sub n. Okay? Or supremum ng ating sequence. Then, kapag naman bounded decreasing sequence, then ang limit niya ay yung infimum ng a sub n. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, ipoprove lang natin yung theorem na to. Okay? So, let's have the proof. Okay, so for our proof, so dun muna tayo sa una. If the sequence a sub n is monotone convergent sequence, sa mga naunang video natin, prinove natin na kapag ang sequence daw ay convergent, then automatic yun daw ay bounded. So, syempre, since convergent sequence na to, okay, monotone nga lang siya, then sigurado tayo na bounded siya. Kasi ang sabi, every convergent sequence is bounded. Okay, sa theorem natin. So, sure na tayo, then it is bounded. Okay? So, doon na tayo sa kabila. Let naman natin, let sequence a sub n be a bounded monotone sequence. So, ang goal naman natin dito, ipoprove natin na dapat ang bounded monotone sequence na to ay convergent. Okay? So, then, yung a sub n or sequence a sub n is either increasing or decreasing. By definition, di ba? Definition ng monotone sequence, monotone daw siya kapag either increasing or decreasing. So, meron tayong dalawang cases. So, let's have case 1. Actually, sub-case na to. Okay? So, for our case 1, ilet natin na yung sequence of a sub n be bounded increasing sequence. So, dun muna tayo sa increasing sequence. Tapos, ang ipoprove natin yung sa bounded increasing sequence, dapat yung limit niya ay yung supremum niya. Okay? Now, kung ang a sub n natin ay bounded increasing sequence, by definition of bounded sequence, may mag-e-exist na real number m. So, then there exists real number m such that the sequence a sub n is less than or equal to m for all natural number n. Okay? Then, pwede natin gamitin yung completeness property. So, by completeness property, sigurado tayo na meron siyang supremum. So by completeness property, let A is equal to supremum ng A sub n such that n element of n. Okay? So ang una natin ginawa kasi, pinakita muna natin na may supremum siya. Kasi nga, ang target natin dito, dapat mapatunayan natin na yung bounded increasing sequence ay nagko-converge sa kanyang supremum. Okay? So what to show na yung limit ng A sub n, dapat yung A na yan, yung supremum. Okay? Now, so given any positive epsilon, since A minus epsilon, take note yung A natin ay yung supremum. So since yung A minus epsilon is not an upper bound of the set containing A sub n such that n element of n. So sir, paano tayo nakakasiguro na hindi siya upper bound? Kasi nga yung A, siya na yung supremum, siya na yung pinakamababa sa lahat ng upper bounds. So sigurado tayo na kapag nagbawas tayo sa A na yan, hindi na siya upper bound. Okay? Kasi siya na yung lowest. Then, kung ito ay hindi upper bound, so ibig sabihin may mag-e-exist na natural number, let's say natural number n, such that A sub n is greater than A minus epsilon. Okay? Kumbaga, kung itong A minus epsilon sa line natin, dito ko na ilalagay kumbaga, nandito yung ating supremum, tapos let's say nandito yung ating A minus epsilon, may makikita tayo ditong A sub n. Let's say ito ay A sub n na mas malaki sa kanya. Okay? Kasi kung wala tayong makikitang A sub n na mas malaki kay A minus epsilon, so ibig sabihin nun, upper bound to. Okay? Hindi nga siya upper bound, kaya meron tayong makikita na mas malaki sa kanyang A sub n. Okay? Now, since yung sequence natin mula sa kanina pa nating assumption ay increasing, then yung A sub n ay less than or equal sa A sub n, small n. Take note ito large n gamit ko, ito small n, for all n greater than or equal to n. Or as small n becomes larger than this n, then yung values ng sequence natin, A sub n, ay magiging mas malaki dito sa ating A sub n. Okay? So, ganun lang siya. But A sub n is less than or equal to A for all natural number n. Tama? Kasi yung ating A ay upper bound or siya yung ating supremum. Then, by definition of upper bound, ay yung A sub n ay less than or equal sa A for all natural number n. Okay? So, thus, for all n greater than or equal to n, A minus epsilon is less than A sub n or less than A sub n. Okay, dito ko kinuha At yung A sub n na yan ay less than or equal sa A sub n. Less than or equal sa A sub n. At itong A sub n na to ay less than or equal sa A. So, ito naman yon. Sundan nyo A minus epsilon less than A sub n. Ito yon. Tapos yung A sub n less than or equal sa A sub n. Ito yon. Tapos yung A sub n less than or equal sa A. Ito yon. At sigurado tayo na ito ay less than A plus epsilon. Okay. And this implies A minus epsilon less than A sub n less than A plus epsilon. So, dito ko lang kinuha yan. A minus epsilon less than A sub n less than A plus epsilon. Okay? And ilalagay ko ay magsusubtract lang ako ng a sa lahat ng sides niyan. So magiging negative epsilon less than a sub n minus a less than positive epsilon. Then property of absolute value, that is absolute value of a sub n minus a is less than epsilon. And as you can see, for as n becomes larger than n, the absolute value of a sub n and a minus a is less than epsilon. So this proves that the sequence a sub n converge to a, which is yung supremum ng a sub n. Okay? So ito ay for case 1 lang para sa increasing sequence. So meron pa tayong case 2 for decreasing sequences naman, for bounded decreasing sequence. Pero hindi ko siya ipoprove dito. Yun ay magiging exercise nyo. Okay? So kayo ang gagawa ng case number 2.